New Orleans haunting grounds. This is the home and final resting place of Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans.
Born September 10, 1881, Laveau gained popularity among the enslaved by gifting them talismans. In return, they gave her information about their captures, which she used to trick them into paying to keep them safe from their troubles. This later gained her notoriety and the status as Voodoo Queen. From 1836 until the time of her passing, she lived in this home with her daughters, becoming ill in 1875 and passing away in 1881. Torn down in 1903 and rebuilt in 1905, mourners continuously left flowers to honor and appease her soul.
Despite this, sometimes residents say that they can still see Marie's spirit walking around the courts, especially on St. Anne. It's said that Marie could be seen walking around in a long white dress and her turban that she usually had fashioned as a crown. After all, she was the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Today, the home is used for vocational travelers, and it can still be said that Marie can be heard, seen, and felt around the presence of this home, and people still leave flowers for her to this day. Follow me as I'll be going through all of New Orleans haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
This is LaLaurie Mansion, home to one of the most depraved serial killers in history. Killings which action spurred a dozen ghosts. Located at 1140 Royal Street, as famous as it is infamous. While briefly an all-girls school, it is more known for a notorious act, known to many as Delphine LaLaurie. Her home now sits on the corner of Governor Nichols and Royal, a constant reminder of the monster that she was, and believed by many to be a prison for the souls that she tortured. Born December 7th, 1849, she was believed to be a meek, quiet woman by many who knew her. But in time, the world would know the real Delphine LaLaurie. On April 10th, 1834, a fire spread throughout the LaLaurie mansion, later to be discovered as the suicide attempt of a slave shackled to a stove. What she set into motion ended up not taking her life, but exposing a monster for who she truly was. Unfortunately, this fire caused the loss of many lives. It still likely prevented many others from perishing at the hands of LaLaurie, who from 1830 to 1834 buried over 12 slaves under mysterious circumstances, likely the souls still trapped here today. When the townspeople found out what LaLaurie had done, and that the law would not step in, formed a mob, ransacking and destroying her home and chasing her out of New Orleans. Saddest of all, she never truly knew justice, living for many years in France, and believed to later be buried in St. Louis Cathedral here in New Orleans. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, travesties were committed here by a deranged monster, and if nothing else, there is darkness left here. Though many leave flowers to mourn, others scorn the sight, and even reports of murder and demon possession mar the house. Some even believe it to be cursed, but for the locals and the spirits, the curse is merely its existence. But hopefully, the souls are at rest.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome to Jackson Square, where the city's even more beautiful at nighttime, with lanterns lit to light your way in the night streets, and spirits roam alongside people like you and me. But here, the supernatural is just a part of the day, or a night job. Here of all places, seeing a ghost or three isn't surprising. Even if one didn't pass on here, maybe it's the energy, maybe it's a beacon, like this one. Built for King Louis IX of France in 1718, St. Louis Cathedral later burned down in 1788, but was rebuilt in the 1850s. And since then, there have been numerous sightings of supernatural activity, both inside the cathedral itself and the surrounding streets. So, to do the spirits justice, we'll take today to focus on the exterior, to an area located on either side of the cathedral, where many spirits have been sighted, including one who may very well be on vacation here, in an area known to most locals as Pirate Alley. Originally a passageway, The alley became a place known for flickering lights with no explanation, and we're just behind the church, connecting the alleys. A former burial ground turned park can sometimes be seen housing a priest, though despite a few sightings of him, there is still another curious spirit, who despite being born September 25th, 1897 in Mississippi, and passing away in the same state in July of 1962, many have seen a certain novelist more than any other spirit here in Pirates Alley, more than a pirate and even more than a priest. A spirit who came to live in this city, and despite leaving and passing away in another area, seemingly decided to spend out the rest of his afterlife here in his bookstore in New Orleans. Even today, visitors say that they can see him sitting down at his desk in his bookstore, smoking on a pipe and enjoying his leisure time. Maybe it's the wonderful blend of sweetness and supernatural, or perhaps just the lively people that brought William Faulkner back, captivating, mesmerizing, and sometimes frightening visitors.
It's said that William's ghost can still be seen walking through Pirates Alley near his old bookstore. Follow me as I'll be covering all of the New Orleans haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
This is Gemini, located at 141 Chartres Street, a well-known haunting ground for former and current employees of the Marriott, such as myself. The bar itself has been around for more than 50 years, with many in attendance for years reporting hot and cold areas throughout the bar. And the bar itself not being very large, the temperature drops can be quite noticeable. The spirits here, however, do not originate from the bar itself, but the floors above it, as the upstairs holds a tragic history, one that many are unaware of, due to the circumstances and lifestyles of the individuals. As you see, the upstairs area was once a gay bar, and in 1973 a fire broke out, one which took the lives of over 23 human beings, with many left unclaimed, as the 1970s was a great time for ignorance. Parents of some of the bodies did not claim them out of shame, and because of this, many could not receive proper burials. While some believed that the fire was caused by one Roger Nunez, a man with mental difficulties. After he took his life in 1974, answers were never received. The spirits that haunt this place deserve more. Their story should never have been forgotten, and hopefully, souls can rest in peace.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunted grounds all through October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome to the Louisiana Supreme Court, located at 400 Royal Street. The courthouse is well over a century old and sits in the heart of downtown New Orleans. Though the homes that stood here previously may have contributed to the ghost here in the courthouse, it is known for sure that there are more than 3 ghosts here, spotted in different areas from outside to inside the halls of the courthouse, leaving the sounds of ghostly footprints echoing throughout its halls. As with many older stories in New Orleans, a shooting involving the mob, killing 2, is believed to have a hand in some of the spirits here. Regardless of how or why the spirits came, these old and hallowed halls, perhaps seeking justice, in a place known to give it to the living. And perhaps more of the spirits are those wrongfully accused, with the court having a history of corrupt and racist judges. It would come as no surprise if some of the judgments made here led to angry souls that never left. But whatever may be the cause, hopefully their spirits can find justice.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome, honored guests, to the Hotel Monte Leon, with over a dozen spirits to keep you company late at night. Built in the late 1800s, and standing for more than 100 years, the hotel has been known to house many spirits. Some young boys simply looking for company late at night. Others are former employees who simply enjoyed their stay so much they decided to never leave. But regardless of the spirits you encounter, according to the experts, they're all friendly. Let's take a look inside, shall we? As in 2003, a paranormal investigative team spent the night in the hotel. And their goal was simple, to find out if the hotel was haunted. They discovered that it indeed was, with over 12 spirits. However, they found most of the spirits to be friendly, such as the ghost of little Maurice, who one night with the nanny, when his parents went out to an opera show, became gravely ill and passed away in the night. The mother was so inconsolable, she returned every year in hopes of seeing her son. She did, and he assured her that he was fine. Another spirit, William Red Whitmore, was a former employee of the hotel who passed away of natural causes, and after seemingly decided the hotel still needed his services.
Follow me as I'll be going to all the haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome, one and all, to Six Flags Amusement Parks, also known to some as Zombieland. Due to the weather and technical difficulties, possibly supernatural events, the video here simply wouldn't show, and the rain prevented a pop-on by to say hello to some of the critters there. But fear not, as I do photography as well. I was still able to bring you images from the area, and a quick story of the site. Originally known to locals as Jazzland in 2000, after going bankrupt 2 short years later, they were taken over by Six Flags. Perhaps lucky, as Hurricane Katrina came later and abandoned the site. As amusement parks go, many have lost their lives on the roller coasters, and even the stillness of the grounds itself gives one an eerie feeling. Perhaps that's why spirits travel here, to enjoy the quiet that only an abandoned theme park can give.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Oh wait, it's almost over. Guess I'll just do it year-round. New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome to the Crowne Plaza Hotel, nestled comfortably between Bourbon and Canal Street, giving you beautiful sights to see during your stay in New Orleans. And with over 693 rooms, there's plenty of space for you and the spirits said to frequent this hotel. Established in 1852 and 32,000 square feet, the hotel, now a national landmark, has seen a great deal of things, and with its time, it has gained many spirits. But unlike other places, seemingly none of the supernatural activity has an origin point. And while guests report ominous energies, orbs in pictures and videos, as well as feelings of being watched, it is seemingly unknown or untold what has caused this hotel to emanate dark energy. Some believe it to be due to the hotel being surrounded by other supernatural areas, such as Napoleon's home and the Death Museum. Despite the unease, none have reported being harmed, which would make the hotel seemingly safe for guests looking to experience the supernatural. But as I would recommend with any ghost or haunted area, you can be near a spirit, but never invoke it. A spirit called upon, friendly or dark, never lets go, and you never know what you'll get.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome to the Le Carpentier Beauregard-Keyes House, a name nearly as long as the history of this home. While the site was originally planned to be a weapons arsenal, plans quickly changed. In 1726, when the King of France signed the land over to the nuns, and in lieu of a fort, homes were built on Toulouse Street. And though the home has seen many owners, Only few of the spirits are a result of the home's occupants. Joseph Le Carpentier was the first to receive the property, and from 1825 to 1828 he built the home. However, not staying much longer afterwards, he sold the property off to John Morlaix in 1833. Living in the house for quite a few years, after falling on hard times, John had to give up the home, with the property sitting for many years before being auctioned off to one Dominique Lanada. And though retaining the property for many years, it was his more famous occupant who gave the name its home. When, in 1868, Pierre Gustave Beauregard, after losing his wife, moved his children into the home. And because he was a general in the Confederate Army, and for a time a president of the city, locals began to name the home for him. After his leaving, the home was later sold in 1904. The Giacono family, believed to have ties to the mob, they could be responsible for some of the spirits, as one day they invited 4 of their enemies and shot them down in their home. Despite going to court, they were not charged and lived in the home until 1925, then sold off later to author Francis Keyes, who later went on to restore the home. Though the house has seen many occupants, it is believed the ghosts that haunt this land are those of the Confederate soldiers who passed away in the area before the home was built. Regardless of the why, it remains one of the most haunted. Enter at your own risk.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome to 1613 Esplanade Avenue, home to ghosts dressed in white and disembodied voices that call you from down the streets. This home is said to belong to one of the most notorious pirates in history, and a local Robin Hood of sort to the patrons of New Orleans. Situated on one of the most popular streets here in New Orleans, the home easily blends in with any other house one might pass by on this lovely street. Though at nighttime, the light above the door seems to beckon one in. And while, as discussed before in previous videos, some have claimed to see the pirate haunting around Jackson Square, others also swear to see the ghost walking from and towards his home at night, perhaps simply taking a stroll from one area to the next. After the late 1700s began to end, and need for more residential areas came, the home of Lafitte was built between 1813 and 1830. Though it was Lafitte who owned the home at a point, a woman dressed in white has often been attributed to these haunting grounds. Often seen from the neutral ground, her spirit enjoys hanging from the second-floor balcony, looking down at the lives of others going by. Others have reported disembodied voices calling to them, as if saying their name. But upon investigation, no one can be found. As with many old places in New Orleans, with so much history and so many lives gone by, how the spirits ended up here is anyone's guess. But if you find yourself alone, walking past 613 Esplanade Avenue, you need not feel so alone. There's likely someone right beside you.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome, one and all, to Loyola University, a place of higher education and an even higher haunting rate. Built in 1904, resting right off of the well-populated street of St. Charles, the school has seen a long and fruitful life, and with that long life comes tales of death. Unlike other places, however, the university imported its spirits rather than exported them to the world. transporting bodies to the 4th and 5th floor, to the 1st, and up again. It was believed that some of the bodies that were brought carried with them an essence that stayed with the school long after they had been gone. Even without the advent of the morgue, the school has seen a great deal of supernatural events. In 1968, a girl was possessed after she and a friend thought it would be a fun idea to play with a Ouija board. Always a good idea. However, many can attest, few spirits like to be bothered, unless you have something to offer them, say, a warm body to inhabit. Other areas of the school have been known to have other apparitions. Greenville Hall, for example, has its own ghosts, though few of these ghosts have names. And like with any school, discerning truth from fiction can be a lesson all on its own. But reaching back, this school has a long history of ghosts, door slamming, noises with seemingly no origins. But its students simply walk by and move on with their lives. Even in the school's auditorium, talks of a ghostly organ player fill the halls. Then again, if you're the more bookish type, they have spirits that like to play around in the bookstore. With so much activity, it's a wonder the students can study. Then again, who needs to study with a ghost in your pocket?
Follow me as I'll cover all of New Orleans' haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome to 508 Toulouse Street, now a part of the New Orleans Creole Cookery. The site was formerly a part of an Irish pub, and even owned by Jackson Brewery for a time, before becoming absorbed by the restaurant. Originally a home built in the early 1800s and moved into in 1803 by Guillaume and his wife Mary. However, after a few years of marital bliss, Guillaume unfortunately passed away, leading the once already widowed Mary to seek a new husband, a man by the name of Joseph Baptandier. However, unfortunately for Mary, Joseph was quite unfaithful, having a mistress named Angelique, though with time the arrangement left the mistress wanting more, and after threatening to let the wife know of her existence, Mary's husband Joseph snapped, killing his mistress. However, after realizing he was caught by others, rather than facing embarrassment and shame, he chose suicide, leaving Mary to once again lament her widow status, choosing not to marry again, passing at 35. The house was once again used in 1853 as a quarantine site for the yellow fever, and due to these episodes, many have cited ghosts here, with Joseph and Angelique being the primary ghost. Others who are believed to have passed away from the fever have also been cited. A reminder that sometimes happy homes can have a dark past.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome to the Beauregard-Keyes House, located at 716 Dauphine Street. The home was built in 1836 by one Joseph Gaudet. However, after 3 years in the home, he decided to sell it off to a new owner, one Jean-Baptiste Lafitte, in 1839 for $20,000. And though Baptiste kept the home until foreclosure in 1878, it is for another reason that this house has another name, known to many as the Sultan's Palace. Though while the legend cannot be proven one way or the other, there is no doubt at least 2 spirits that linger around the premises of the home, though it seems that they are uninvolved with the legend itself. The story goes that in 1860s, Baptiste fell onto hard times and was forced to lease his home out. Desperate for any bid that he could receive, he took in one from a sultan's brother, and after a monetary exchange, the sultan came to the U.S. It is said that the Sultan brought with him many harems of women, as well as ornate jewels, furniture, and loud, lavish parties. However, the good times came to an end one stormy night. It occurred not too long after the Sultan had moved in, on a hurricane-stormed night, when everyone else was hunkered into bed. Something else was occurring in the night at the Sultan's palace. The next day, an onlooker passing by noticed blood seeping down the steps. After the local investigators were involved and called in, they found bodies littered all throughout the house, including that of the Sultan himself. And though the legend can only be found in a book, it is still believed by many locals to be true, as two spirits have been seen on the premises, one of a Confederate soldier, and the other of a lonely woman. So whether it's due to the Sultan, or perhaps a chance encounter in life, truth and fiction meet.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
Welcome, thespians and art lovers alike, to La Petite Theatre, located at 1616 St. Peter Street, established in 1916, and officially opening its gates 1922. It's been known to house a number of interesting spirits over the years. The original site of the theater was built in 1789, but was destroyed in the fire of 1794. Later rebuilt in 1797, it was believed that due to this, the hauntings began. And over the years, the theater began to accrue even more spirits. A Union soldier, seen admiring himself in what could have been a mirror once upon a time. A ghostly piano player. A nun. A spirit referring to himself simply as the captain. And Caroline. Just a few of the many spirits that one can encounter here. But not all spirits are friendly here in the theater. Some believe that a local manager, who may have taken his life, still lingers here at the play, staring, lingering, angry. But like with most spirits, if you turn your eyes away, pretend not to see them, hopefully they won't see you.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans Haunting Grounds.
This is Our Lady of Guadalupe Sacred Church, located at 411 Rampart Street. The church is in perfect view of downtown New Orleans, giving many the opportunity to party and sin the night away, and walk just down the street to pray. Originally built in 1826 as a direct response to St. Louis Cathedral legalizing the display of dead bodies, the church, then known as the Mortuary Church, was established in 1826 thereafter. However, the church would receive a rededication in 1952, lining up with the name we know today. Though the mortuary originally saw many great years as a burial site, in 1853, after discovering, despite the best efforts, many of the bodies there began to give way to time and disease. Out of fear for safety, the church moved its practices to strictly services, no longer keeping bodies at its site. However, many believe that because of the bodies that were kept here, and the fact that the church was formerly a mortuary, many still believe that entities roam these sacred grounds. Figures can be seen standing beyond the trees. Sometimes merely a statue, sometimes something more. And like with many other haunts, temperature drops, increases, and noises in the distance have all been reported. However, despite this, or because of its church status, the many in attendance choose to believe it's something more divine than sinister. And regardless of where you stand on the subject, many feel that beyond these double doors lies something more than the human eye can see, more than the average mind can understand. Perhaps a religious experience, or perhaps a ghostly one.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunting grounds in New Orleans for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds. Or perhaps layers.
Welcome to Canal Street Hotel, located, as one may guess, at the corner of Claiborne and Canal Street. Established in the 1960s, the hotel garnered a few decades of success before being completely abandoned in the early 2000s, despite a bid in 2015 and whispers of other plans. The hotel has long since been left derelict, leading many to believe it houses many supernatural entities. For many years now, those passing the hotel have reported hearing strange noises, as well as movement and strange energies lingering near the area. However, though many believe the hotel to be haunted by spirits, there are some who believe other immortal and supernatural creatures frequent this hotel. And if we are to give one creature of the night its due, then why not another creature known to linger in the dark, a darkness perfectly suited for ghosts, but far better for a vampire. And though many movies have shown the creatures of the night to live in beautiful, high-rise condos, areas such as this make more sense for creatures that are immortal. The hotel is located precisely next to a bridge, known for housing travelers and those with nowhere to go, those who wouldn't be missed. And having been abandoned for over 2 decades, is no going in and out. Once you check into this hotel, unless you are mortal, you will not check out. Author Anne Rice has shown New Orleans to be the perfect breeding ground for those who are immortal. A city that slowly changes, filled with people who live for the night, where strange and unique are commonplace. And with so many rooms abandoned, be it ghost or vampire, it seems the hotel has more than enough room for the supernatural. And whether you believe in one, or the other, or both, there is no denying that the old abandoned hotel that sits on the corner of Canal and Claiborne seems to house something that watches over you at night.
Follow me as I'll be covering all of the haunted grounds all through October. Also, what's haunting you? New Orleans haunting grounds.
Welcome to Lafitte Blacksmith Shop, a place where people come to laugh and drink and enjoy their lives with music and friends, and where one might be paid to visit by the owner. Of course, I don't mean the new owners. I mean the original owner. A pirate privateer, born September 25th, 1780, and passing away September 5th, 1823. He operated out of the Gulf of Mexico in the early 19th century. Look at that stain on the wall. Does it look like someone's looking at you? Or is it just a trick of the eye? Many have reported seeing him, standing in corners in the corner of their eyes, only to disappear when they look closer, always preferring to be a spectator, but not a spectacle. Though other spirits have been known to roam here, a nameless woman upstairs, a ghost with red eyes that pierce in the night. His is the presence that has stood the test of time. His is the presence that lingers in the shadows, hanging in the corners of the shadows, just outside of the light. This is his home, his life after life.
The bar was named for John Lafitte. In the 1800s, he was a pirate who was considered a local legend for New Orleans. He smuggled in goods to the locals here, and after his death, people started saying that they saw full-bodied apparitions of the ghost. They also have other ghosts and apparitions that have been seen around John Lafitte, but his is the most prevalent ghost that's been seen multiple times, and full body too, not just like a bit of apparition. People have even believed that his ghost was actually a person that they could just hang out with. Follow me as I'll be going through all of New Orleans haunting grounds for the entire month of October. Also, what's haunting you?